Hey guys, what is up? Sam or Scorpiola here, bringing you guys a very exciting video talking about Call of Duty 2020, aka Black Ops Cold War, and believe me, a lot has happened and we've got a lot to talk about with you guys today. We're going to be talking about leaked alpha builds, the situation with the game's beta, a Warzone Zombies mode coming soon, along with plenty of talk about the behind the scenes of this game and the mysterious Northwoods project from many years back. So strap in and get ready, it's going to be a wild one, and enjoy. So let's start off by talking about the beta situation for this game, or lack thereof. I'm sure some of you will have heard of J-Man. He's actually one of the leakers in the Call of Duty OG's Discord server. He's actually quite reliable, having given reliable Modern Warfare and Warzone information to both the Gaming Revolution and DK Dynamite in the past, so it's safe to say he does have some credibility, but as with all leaks, take this with a grain of salt as things in the gaming industry are constantly changing and evolving. He goes on to say that currently there is no beta planned for Call of Duty 2020, and instead they are looking to have a campaign demo, just like the old days, like we saw with the old Modern Warfare trilogy and the early Black Ops games. We would get a demo where we'd get a single mission of this campaign to play and just generally get a feel for how the game's looking. Apparently the multiplayer is just simply not ready to have a beta. This is actually backed up by some of the stuff we've heard from Long Sensation, where he actually said the game is just not where it needs to be right now. And honestly, we could have seen that coming a mile away. It's not surprising at all. Treyarch only took over this project around a year ago. It started off led by Raven and Sledgehammer, and now Raven's focus has largely shifted over to the Warzone side of things, so they're pretty much just down to Treyarch and Sledgehammer trying to complete the crunch on this game. The fact is, this game simply hasn't spent enough time in development, and with Activision looking to maintain this game's full release date to get the extra Christmas sales in, we could be in for a messy launch. And typically, multiplayer is the highest priority mode, so if that mode is a mess right now, I'm really dreading to think what Zombies is looking like at the moment. Now moving on to some other stuff, I've actually been hearing some unconfirmed but very logical reports lately that are actually telling us that Treyarch and Activision do seem like they could be in a bit of a standoff right now over the title of this new game as we quickly approach this game's reveal, potentially as soon as later this week at the PS5 event. Apparently, Treyarch are simply wanting to call this game Call of Duty Cold War, as makes sense because it does seem to be its own thing, where Activision are really pushing for Black Ops Cold War, as we know the Black Ops name really sells. Honestly, with Activision being the publisher, I would guess Black Ops Cold War is the title we're going to get. It kind of makes a lot of sense since this is a reboot of the Black Ops series. Why wouldn't they call it that? Now, I didn't think it could get more interesting than leaked beta information. But as I was preparing to make this video, we got even more huge information that came out. Some of you may have heard of a site called PS4 Patches. This is actually a website that allows you to view and download update files for PlayStation titles. Well, recently, as people have been going through databases of PlayStation titles, a listing has been found for a game known as the Red Door, which was launched at the start of May and has had regular updates till now. But this game hasn't actually been released, and there is no trace of this game existing. So what is it? Well, upon actually downloading the patch files, which amount to 3 files which are over 50 gigabytes each, so safe to say there's a lot here, we find they're actually labelled as Call of Duty 2020 Alpha. Something similar actually happened a few years back. Many of you will remember the name Northwoods. This was actually a listed Activision title that popped up on the Xbox marketplace, and many believed to be some kind of zombies only Call of Duty game or some kind of tease to a DLC 5, which was heavily rumoured at the time. Well, as it turns out, as we can now see, through this same method that we found out that the Red Door is Call of Duty 2020's alpha codename, we do know that Northwoods was actually the codename for the Black Ops 3 beta. I personally believe that the reason this early access build is actually listed and downloadable, which these usually wouldn't be, is because of the global pandemic situation. Most developers are working from home, so this is actually how they're getting builds of the game to their QA testers to, well, test from home, which is likely how we also ended up seeing alpha gameplay leaked recently. Obviously I can't show this on screen, but we did see some very early alpha gameplay leaked a few weeks back, and this is probably how that came to light. While we don't know if someone will actually be able to get these leaked builds to actually play on the console, these updates are downloadable and accessible, so they were obviously going to get data mined. And off of this, people have managed to find listings for 4 modes in the game. Firstly, including the unsurprising campaign, multiplayer and zombies. It's a Treyarch title, we were obviously going to get those 3. Nice to see campaign back from Treyarch though. And also, even more interesting, there is a listing for WZZM as a mode, all one name, and we do believe that this is a short for Warzone Zombies mode, which does mean that we will get a version of Warzone with Black Ops Cold War that would contain zombies similar to the way Blackout did. We've known for a while now that Warzone will actually be updated with Call of Duty 2020 content this year, with zombies being such a big part of the Treyarch legacy, as we saw with Blackout, with zombie spawns at areas like Asylum, the Berries area, Diner, there was all sorts all over the map, and a new version of Warzone coming in with zombie spawns would make so much sense, and it does seem like the perfect way to make it feel distinct from the Infinity Ward season of the mode with all the realistic stuff we got with that game. And we already have zombies teasers in Warzone. Files were actually found sitting beside the Treyarch RCXD prototype Easter egg in this little hut down by prison that clearly have the number 115 written all over them. That isn't an accident, with Element 115 having been a key part of Treyarch's infamous Ether storyline as actually the element that was used to create the zombies. Between this, the wolf howls being heard at the dam for months now, very mysterious stuff, and reports of players having heard zombie round music playing at some places within Warzone games, it's making me more and more convinced Activision could be looking to leave behind the super realistic take on Warzone to make things a little more supernatural next year. Could the Warzone live event that's supposedly linked to the Call of Duty 2020 reveal actually be bringing zombies into the mix in some way? Well, we'll have to wait and see on that. Alongside the Red Door, which is the working codename for Black Ops Cold War, there is also another 2020 Activision title listed as in alpha testing, named Project Oaktree. This is obviously a PlayStation title, so it's not going to be a little mobile thing. This is a proper AAA release. Personally, if I was to put a guess on this, I believe this could be the codename for the upcoming Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remakes. We're going to have to wait and see to know for sure, but realistically it is actually the only Activision title we know is in development for this year, so unless something else is going to pop up, it does seem like that is what that is most likely to be. So after various hints, leaks and teasers that Modern Warfare Season 4 is going to be very strongly linked to the Call of Duty 2020 reveal, it does seem like that game's season is finally coming after a previous delay due to the global climate. It does seem like the brand new release date has been updated to be as early as today, with the season launching at 11 PM Pacific time tonight, 2 AM Eastern on Wednesday, and then 7 AM UK again on Wednesday. If you need conversions on those times, then you can go ahead and do that. We don't have the official confirmation on this yet, but it does seem like that is when it is lining up to be. A lot of stuff in the game is changing that does seem like it is preparing for that reveal to come, and you can expect plenty of coverage for that. On the channel, we've got some very exciting plans for this entire week, including a huge custom zombies video to talk about later in the week, one that you are not going to want to miss. But I think with that, guys, that is actually going to wrap up this video. So I actually want to take a quick minute to talk about this game's reveal and release, since obviously what we've been talking about today is about the game is massively behind schedule, and while this reveal is already the latest yet, the end of May would have made it the latest yet, and now we're into June with no sign of anything. What is going on? Well, firstly, I would expect that we will see our first teasers a little bit later this week. I really think they want to get Modern Warfare Season 4 out and with us before they start to move on to Call of Duty 2020. Even though the two may be interlinked, they don't want to kind of cross-communicate there and cause issues. I would expect, based on the fact we know this game is struggling, we know they want to hold that full release date to get those Christmas sales, which makes a lot of sense. But when's this actually going to release? Well, it's definitely not going to make the October date that we're used to, and from the fact that they're happy with going for a later reveal, my personal guess is that they are looking to go into late November, kinda December, making this one of the latest Call of Duty releases we've actually ever seen, but I think honestly, it makes by far the most sense just to give them the maximum time while still being able to take advantage of the Christmas stuff, and also most importantly launching alongside those next gen consoles, because honestly being a Call of Duty bundle with the PS5 or the Xbox Series X at launch is going to be a big seller. It will be one of the most popular bundles for sure, and yeah, I think that is really the obvious bet. I would put my best guess on early December for our release. If you like the sound of any of that upcoming content, then be sure to subscribe for plenty more Call of Duty news, leaks and information. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you on more Call of Duty videos. Bye!